Hey folks, thanks for stopping by at Beginner's Mind with that fig tree. I had a very refreshing chat with Marco. For over 3 decades, Marco has crafted campaigns for some of the world's leading brands. Marco has 17 Cannes Lions under his belt. He and his team brought the first ever Grand Prix award to Singapore. We talk about what made him choose his career path, how did he deliver some of the great campaigns, what makes somebody creative, which brands are leading creativity, and what would he advise to youngsters looking to join the industry. I hope you enjoy the discussion. Please do leave a comment and follow the channel for such meaningful discussions. Marco, thank you. Thanks for coming all the way. Really appreciate it. I know you for a while. I really appreciated your work when you were in the team Unilever and in team WPP. That was really amazing. So thank you for coming here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, creative, it's a very a bit of an enigma for me all the time. That why do people become? What fascinates them? What made you become a creative director?
Well, I'm going to tell very short, but try to. I am the sixth son of my mother and father.
Yes.
So I have 6 boys. I'm the sixth one. So it's like the Macaulay Culkin in the Home Alone, I need to start to stand out a lot of.
Okay.
And I discovered that I'm a very shy boy and I like to draw.
Okay.
And I see that drawing is something that I get attention for everyone. And I have a brother, the number 2, Juarez, that work in an agency, small agency. I used to have the holidays, I went in his house, I go to the agency and see so fascinating people. Imagine they spend the whole day drawing and art because it's before the computer. So I'm starting an analogic era. And so I like art. So I like to do this. And I start working at an agency, small agencies in São Bernardo, like in a city near to São Paulo. It's like the Detroit in Brazil. And I never aspired thinking about being a creative director. I always like to be a creative, do something that many people want to see.
Okay.
So imagine if you're doing a print ad and go to magazines, everyone going to see, so okay, well, I did it. So that's something that I think I found a way to stand out, a very shy boy, doing something very quiet for the brands. But after moving in the career, going to one agent for another agent, and after I found out me and WPP is the most creative agency in Brazil, and I won my first Lion. I started doing a nice work, and I have an opportunity to be a creative director for another agency. So I thought, no, it's not for me, because it's a shift of mindset. Be a creative, so we create something, and someone decide what's good or not.
Oh, yes.
So you just give the responsibility for someone to decide. So it's more comfortable. But now I need to decide, be a creative director. So I thought that I don't know if I'm going to fit on it, but I started having fun about it. So I see that, wow, my God, I can guide, I can create a culture in the agency. I can shape the creative tonality of the agency. I can make people grow. I can, and I started going and enjoy it. And I became a CCO of an agency, another CCO of an agency, and that comes. And today I really enjoy to transform brands. For me, more than do creative work, I like to, this brand before and after me is, for me, is my goal. Is
different.
Yeah. That's, but again, I think it starts a very Macaulay Culkin Home Alone, try to stand out and find the art, or because I'm art-based, and a way to advertise to, stand out in the middle of the crowd.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I think the everybody wants to stand out, even when you're a child, and I think your childhood explains 6 brothers. Initially, was this a lot of struggle for you when you became creative director? How was the initial years for you?
Yes, I think if we start a career, is very challenging because I come from a poor family, so the starting into the agency is very hard. So you need to find a trainee, small agents. But I think the big shift when I become creative director, And in the first moments, I took some time to understand what's my role.
Okay.
So I think I need to see everything, I need to do everything, I put my hands in everything. Until I realize that my role, you be much more inspire, guide, direct, and let people do the things themselves and help to craft, help to elevate the work that people bring to me. That's, I think, is the big struggle, because you need to be a little more open, because you put your name, you have responsibilities of a work of others. But it's so grateful, it's so amazing when you see people shining. So, the young guy that start working, they starting becoming a big creative, and you have some responsibility on it. So have some part of this success. So it's something that I really like it. I like to share knowledge. I like to mentor people. I like to make our industry for more creative leaders. That's another thing that's I think that's shift my mind when I was on DDB in Brazil. That I realized that I need to prepare people to take my place. So if I have people ready to take my place, I can move forward. So that's why I starting mentor people to become creative leaders.
You should mentor me also.
A pleasure.
Okay. Now, tell me, what's the most fascinating project for you so far? I mean, I'm sure there are many, but
Yeah, I'm in almost 40 years working in advertising. So I don't remember my life without working in advertising, because starting of 16, like a very, very early. I like projects that beyond the words. So projects that really shape the industry or bring something fresh to the industry, something that's because most of the time you become followers, what's trends, what people are doing, but sometimes you just become a trend to others follow you. So that's the moment that's amazing. There one project that I did in 2010, a World Cup, for a telecom in Brazil called Vivo. That was the first, the campaign was about the first World Cup on digital, on cell phones. When people going to comment, because it's the beginning of the mobile internet, democratization of data and everything. And so the campaign is about, you're going to share, you're going to comment, you're going to see the World Cup in the phones, going to review match. So I convinced the client to, what if you do the biggest content on the internet? And in this case, we did a film for YouTube, 8 minutes, the story of Pelé.
a story of Pele,
Pelé, 17 years old,
Brazilian fan.
trying to score her last goal of a Brazilian jersey. Because Pelé, the story in Brazil is Pelé, the last professional match was of Cosmos in USA.
Okay.
And when he was 50s, they make a friendly match, but Pelé haven't scored. So, and Pelé is amazing, and he told, I reach everything, but if you could do one thing, I'd like to score the last goal of a Brazilian jersey. So we created a fiction film, like a Rocky Balboa come back to play. It's Brazil against Argentina, shoot by O2 of the same producers of City of Gods. It was a big production, 500 extras, 2 directors, 2 days in the big stadium. And it's a very emotional film. So you make happen and a goal that Pelé haven't scored in the World Cup in 70s. So it's you need to watch it. But I think this project, I remember in 2010, really shifted the industry. And people see, wow, I invest $1.5 million to produce this film just for YouTube. And people see, wow, internet is not just do some cheap things, digital. Imagine 2010. Brands just put a little money in digital. I convinced the client to put a big money and do an amazing film. It was funny because in research, this was the most remembered film on TV, but never run on TV. So the consumers tell like, oh, all the commercials do you remember on TV? They talk about this film, but they never run TV just run on YouTube. So, and end up won some Lions and Cannes. But this project, I think, is really an amazing project that really shifted the industry. Bring something new that I like.
Something brilliant you recently did, right? Your Grand Prix award. When we were working together, this was like one of your ambition that you want to be the first one to win Grand Prix in Singapore.
Yeah, 5 years ago, David Dahan for Ogilvy and me, you have an operation called WPP Unilever. That's Ogilvy and VML. When we started doing this operation, you put one slide like you want to win the first Grand Prix in Singapore, because Singapore never won a Grand Prix. And you work very hard. And this project's called Transition Cream for Vaseline. There are a lot of people involved in it. So don't give the credit only for me, but because it's a project you brought to the clients to create a product. You know that in Thailand there are a lot of thousand transgenders, and you realize that when they make the transition from men to women, the hormones that they took have a lot of problems in the skin, like a dry skin, but there's no product that can heal it. Even the hydration creams, all the existing creams, not work too much. So we proposed to the Vaseline to create a product for that, to develop a technology for that, because it's part of the purpose of Vaseline, the health skin for all. So I need to do things like that. What's nice, the Unilever really embrace it. All the team on Vaseline embrace it, and they thought, let's do it real, big, and forever. So R&D Unilever develop new technologies, new ingredients, tested, and after 2 years, you launch this product that's part of the Derma portfolio. So it's not just a special edition or something like this. It's part of the Derma portfolio and going to stay forever. So you created this product collaboration with the community and everything. I think it's won a Grand Prix in glass. That's, for me, is the most beautiful Grand Prix because it's 100% purposeful. Is the award that really rewards brands that really make impact in the world and change the world. I think won because it's not just an advertising gimmick. It's not just some people pretending do something small for some. It's something that really the brand embrace it and make it for real. So you celebrate a lot, of course, the first Grand Prix of Singapore, make history. So as I told, I like to create things never done before. So this is amazing achievement.
It was your dream. It was David's dream also. And
yeah,
I was very pleased to see when I saw this on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Well, all the Ogilvy team that work on it, the creative directors, the CCO, Nico, that's Louis from Vaseline team, Prix, everyone embrace it and make it really happen.
No, sure. It's a teamwork. Now, coming to teamwork, I think it's a genuine question I have. When I'm working with creative people, I find it difficult to work with. They're thinking and moody, and I'm a business you've seen me in past, like I'm a client person. What is the way to kind of work best with the creative people?
Well, I should tell the clients, creative is so easy. Just compliment it, just say something, well, I like it, because it's very frustrating for creative. 90% of the work is just go to the trash bin. A lot of weekends, nights, work it, just go. It's very frustrating. But there are many kinds of creatives too. I'm managing for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And I really want to take from them a way of working because there's some creators that's very selfish. They just think about themselves. Okay. I want something to put in my portfolio. If the client doesn't like it, I don't care. There's some creatives that, okay, just going to do the day-to-day work. I don't have so much ambitions, so we're going to make everything flows. But the balance is the best one. So the creative that really behave like a partner of the brand.
Okay.
Like if this brand was mine, if the results is mine, if the ownership, understand the tensions, because when you really understand what the client is facing, because the clients face pressure for results, they have a pressure for the local markets, they have a pressure of politics inside the company. You cannot just come in just a stubborn person and approve this joke because it's going to be good for portfolio. So that's I told more selfish. But when you really embrace it, it's a different relationship. And also, don't stress too much. I see myself a very calm and listening everyone. Everyone, there's something interesting. I just capture everyone. It's not like, there's a junior account team talk something. Who is this guy to give an opinion? But there's something behind this. I need to fish in these things because are going to help me to improve the work. So if you open your heart, listen, understand, and also bring provocations, push the brand further, and also put energy in everything, and just in a demo of the drop of oil on the product, even a big production that can bring awards. If you put the same energy, the clients see you like a partner, and also a relationship for everyone involved, of the research, of of the production, of the account, of the clients, going to be positive. Because we work in the research.
Yeah.
Well, when I have making a film, I go to research and I have the feedback. Oh my God, who is this person telling that? So they don't understand the enjoyment come back. It's very frustrating. But if you really understand, let me see there's something here. People talk, there's something here. And see it's like a energy to overcome.
Do you believe in those frameworks? I mean, this is a question I have because I was on that side where I will write the reports and I'll go and present. And then there will be creative directors there. Some of the ad agencies hated. They hated it. It's like an example that, people, as you said, work day and night, and here comes this guy based on some 100 respondents and says that this is not working. This is green, this is amber, this is red. You believe in it? What's your view?
Well, I think it's different criteria. So if you test the most successful films, maybe not going to have a green preview, for example. But if the game is the way you're working, you need to take in consideration this. There's no chance, but you need to maybe just instead of be reactive. I really ought to, let's understand. There's a part, there's no enjoyment, or there's no branding, there's nothing like this, no like this. You can improve the work. I think that this research shouldn't be done to define what's good or is not, because you just checking what the consumers would like to see. But there's an expression in Brazil that a musician says like, people know what they want, but they want what they don't know. So if you ask what you like it, what you think, they're going to just be, share what they have in their repertoire, but they don't know what they want. Maybe you can bring something new that can scary, but if you to answer very quickly this, if I believe or no, I think you need to just check what you want to take from that.
Okay.
Because when you test especially animatics, it's unfair for the idea, because sometimes an acting and a smile can bring the enjoyment that the animatics don't have. But if you want to test it, if the claim resonates, if the story is relatable, can be good.
Okay. So I think it's the way you look at it, not in totality is not wrong, right?
Yeah. I think it's just a matter of the interpretation of the results. So, okay, you tested the animatic, and this is what people feel about the animatic. For sure, if you test the final film, going to be maybe different results. So, if you want to test the animatic, what do you want to take about this? If it's approved, I like or don't like the film, I don't think that's the best way. But if you understand the message, is the situations relatable for me, of the claim persuade me, I think is important to have.
Having some strange questions coming to mind when I'm talking to you. For example, for a creative person, like you need ideas, right? How do the ideas, do you generate ideas? Is it, I know there's something biological. I mean, you are a creative person, so the ideas automatically you're different, wired differently. But what do you do to keep fresh, to keep thinking new ideas, new thinking? How do you?
Well, I think you need to be curious of everything. So the first thing is not feed your mind with advertising. You don't know, a lot of creators do a mistake. They just see advertising, just talk about advertising, just see what's doing all the awards, see the Cannes winners, all the things like this. So they feed themselves with advertising. I like to feed myself with a knowledge. So I like to learn about parenting. I like to learn about the future of AI. I like to learn about behaviors. I like to watch things. I like to see things interesting stories. Everything that you bring to you is going to make a difference. Otherwise, you're going to replicate formulas. So for example, I like to listen a lot of podcasts.
Okay.
My lunchtime, I watch TED Talks, for example, about neuroscience, about happiness, about business, about the women, about the discovery, about everything. Books also, I used to listen a lot of e-books about many topics, biographies, psychologies, everything. Because I used to tell that, as important as some do the university, the college, if many people spend 4 years doing therapy, know themselves and fine-tuning the way to read emotions, and it's like a wine tasting of behavior therapy. You start to see the difference. So when you really understand relationships, this person is aggressive because insecure. Oh, there's many kinds of people or relationships or tensions, can be very helpful for us that work in a advertising industry, in the creative, to maybe find a trigger and a purpose that can be relatable, that can wow. For example, a lot of purpose of the brands is based in some contemporary tension. You need to be aware what's happening in the world. I don't know, what's AI changing? What's the technology? What's the relationship of people of social media? What's the biotechnologies changing the relationship of beauty? All these things can maybe, wow, there's some tension that starts happening. If I answer the brand, you can create a purpose for that. It can be very relatable. Yeah. So I think that's for creatives, they really need to be curious. For example, everyone is talking about AI, especially in the creative process. Copywriters refuse to use the ChatGPT because they're going to job for me. I told embrace it, master AI. I'm doing a filmmaking course of AI because I want to master AI. I want to see how can I create image, because the AI not going to do the work for you. I think in the future of AI, everyone going to be creative directors. You need to create, you need to ask people to do now with AI. You need to see the results. You need to craft, you need to select. You need to create, improve. That's the way I need to see. But I think the curiosity, we need to keep the curiosity. And
That's how you hire the new creative directors also. Like I'm sure you hired a lot of people now. What makes you think that this guy will click, or this person, this girl, this woman is,
it's very hard. It's like a Kinder egg, when you hire people creative, because you can see how you hire today. You need to see a portfolio. This guy did a lot of great work that I identify with, because you can see, this guy is more traditional, this guy is more progressive, this guy top guy, but the person. But when you talk, for me, it's important if the person has this ambition to thrive. Because if you have an ambition to thrive, you have a good foundation, I can shape, I can help, I can work with. I saw on many pages at work some average creatives that become an amazing creative, not because me, but because I give him the conditions or her the conditions to thrive, to maybe the right directions. So I think for me, the most important thing, I hire people that never seen the portfolio, for example. Because, good recommendations, people talk, and I talk to the person, I see, I like the way, the articulation, I see that the person can really, I can shape, I can help, I can give the right opportunities to become a big one. I think it's just in a brighten eyes. That's it's very subjective.
So it's very subjective. It's a gut call.
Yeah.
It's a gut call. Okay. Now, sometimes, Marco, I've seen this, that there's a common blame comes on creatives that, they are away from the reality. The business and the creative, they kind of, sometimes they don't see eye to eye each other. How do you overcome that? You agree with that? I mean,
I agree. Because, but that's why I talked before. If the creative really embrace the brand, dive in the brand, that's why I think the difference of our operation that you have in Singapore, I have people that really embrace and live the brand. It's not like, I have a job to do for this brand. They enter and leave, don't know what's happening. And most likely in this kind of people that step in, step out, they don't know what's happening. So the chance to do something creative but doesn't make sense of business or the brand is very high. And they start insisting and defend and push the client and make the client in a position, you're so conservative, you don't approve the crazy idea that I have. So that's happened a lot.
that happens.
Because it's wrong for the creative, it's wrong for the client, but I think I really believe that the brands today is become very nuanced. There's nuance. It's not like I have a sports car and I have a family car and I have a, cheap car. It's not like that. You have many kinds of car. You have the car that's sports, but that's something that's the specific for family, but the one that thrive, they want to have something they create a very unique space.
Specific segment.
Yeah, a segment, but nuances to talk about the brand. For example, I work a lot of beauty brands. You need to understand that beauty brands is not Dove, all the brands. I'll talk about be yourself or about self-esteem. It's not. If you see Lux is opposite than Dove. Lux is high beauty. For example, if you compare just to Dove, beauty is a source of anxiety, because when people don't fit in the standard, they feel self-esteem damage. Lux is if you exceed the standard of beauty, because the woman that exceeds, the woman that go on a Monday morning in the office of high heels, makeup, and it's be judged, is different than Dove. And all the brands, that's what your nuances. You need to really dive in, understand the space of the brand, and be the craziest, the more creative in this space. But if you be crazy and creative out of the space, that's starting clash. And the client, I don't know, think, and the client, but you need to be brave, you need to take risks. I don't know, the client, but I don't know, think it's his own brand, and don't know, it's the fight. But when everything is inside this brand world, now you have all the rules, the client, wow, this makes sense, you know? It fits of my strategy, fits of my brand, it fits more my business goals. Why not? Let's do it. So it's a role to create the trust of the client to understand. That's, I think, what you did, because, you know, if you see, I don't know, I started working in Unilever in 2016. A lot of Unilever brands is the brands that just do, you know, like traditional films and creatives feel, oh, I don't want to work in this brand because it's so tough. I would prefer working Nike and Coke and Apple. Unilever is a very traditional. But you prove that, okay, let's understand the brand. And you start one award. So Unilever is the most awarded client in Singapore today.
How does a typical engagement work? I mean, if let's say my child has an ambition to become creative, and he or she wants to know typical engagement, how does it work? When the client comes to you, you think of this idea, how does the process work? Any loose ideas you can give there?
I don't know if you need to tell for someone, a teenager that wants to work in first need to study, see everything that I've done. So that's, I think, it's a positive to what I've done, but not just this year, last year, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, because we need to see the evolution, need to understand the repertory, because most of the time people do an idea, oh, this is done 10 years ago. Oh, this idea, this is done 20 years ago. Oh, this idea is, is a traditional formula. It's something that's is a cliche. So we need to get the repertory. So but when you watch the work, need to see with eyes, to not just watching, oh, they did, see the details, how people tell the story, how they improve. That's the first thing. And need to find a mentor. So even not work as a trainee, I used to do a lot. For example, that some people in university, I adopt. Okay, I can send me things, I can give feedbacks, I can give some mentorship. On the DB, I did it extreme. I created like a 9 semester. University has 8 semesters. I created 1 semester more. I selected 35 the best students for 7 universities to extend the university inside the agency for 6 months.
Wow.
And I give class, I ask for creative directors give class, I invite the biggest names on the industry to give class, their tasks, they create a campaign and everything to really, I think is the best way to be close for someone. That's I think, find someone to push you, like a personal trainer that you need to have.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Now, AI, you talked to me about AI, like you're learning AI, which is great. But is it an enemy or is it a friend?
Well, AI, people tell that's a new tool. I read the articles. AI is not a new tool. It's a new species. You don't know exactly what is going with this. For now, he's a very helpful. I think, for example, I incentivate everyone in my team to master AI. Some specific tools, for example, ChatGPT, Midjourney, Runway to animate it, even Suno to create music, things like this. Why? Because you can materialize it or visualize things quickly. Imagine a copywriter. He wants to do a script and he needs to find a twist in the end of the script and the film. He can work with a ChatGPT, for example, to give options, to expand your repertoire so he can speed up the brainstorm process. Because when you create, you work off your repertoire, your memory, what you learn, what you read, what you think, and your experience in life. The AI expanded 1,000 times. So give me jokes about, father and son. You can have a lot of things. Oh, there's something inside here. You can, work with this. To visualize things also, to create visuals. I'm art director, so how could be this thing? So you can improve and see things quickly. But I think the one thing that I learned in this course that I'm doing, it's improve a lot the technical knowledge. Because, for example, when you go to the runway, for example, is an AI that you animate images, you need to know movement of the cameras. You need to know lens. You need to know color code, filters, because it's going to be prompts. They will never pay attention to it. So if you have the camera like on a pen or a spin 80 degrees or 60, and to do that, I discovered another website, for example, that you can, I'd like to do this, and I start like a Kubrick or Coppola. So go there in this website and you see frames of the films. I imagine my asset that I'm producing in this style. So when you see this style, you can have a lot of informations about what kind of camera, of kind of lens, of the movement, of the framing, all the technical things that you use to prompt some mock-up that you want to build. So it's not doing your job, but it's speed up and going very in detail, and you're learning a lot with that. So I think I'm enjoying a lot AI, and I think it's going to allow a lot of people to be more independent. So we don't need more big teams to do things. I think people are going to create more autonomy of the work they're doing, going to speed up, the quality is going to improve, and that I think is very positive. But of course, if you go the AI and the world, beyond advertising, so...
a lot of people are saying that AI will be more intelligent than doctors. You will not need doctors.
Yeah, for lawyers, but on execution, for example, in your market, you can AI to edit, for example, the AI is that you just put the assets, he just edit the film to you based on what can be have more performance in social media, for example. Great, but you need to create these assets. Or if the AI create the assets, you need to create the assets. If you need to create, you need to know what you pick, because the AI going to be, for example, if you maybe need a lawyer, you can ask for AI. Maybe you don't need to have a consultation with the lawyer, but the lawyer going to have a different role on it.
Elevated role.
The doctors today, but I think the AI, if you see more on a long term, I saw on a video that new religion is going to come of AI. So the trust, you have a trust crisis of AI. You don't know what more is real or not. Today, my daughter can call me for her face and talk to me, but maybe it's not her, it's AI. So there are a lot of, and the schools, for example, and the masters, all the universities, how can I deal with AI? Because you need to reshape the way you're going to work, because there are a lot of remote courses that people can go to ChatGPT, because in ChatGPT you have a different GPTs inside, so you can do everything for you. So
one thing, Marco, which is happening to me, I'm old as well. And when I was growing up, I saw the advertisements, which I really remember, many of them in India. There were a lot of, music in them. There were a lot of nice visuals, logos, jingles when I was growing up. And now I don't see that creativity now. Is it? Am I missing something, or is it?
No, I think that's if you see these commercials nowadays, going to just be one more. If you just run today, I don't know if you're going to be. I think there are many things that before. Talk for Brazil, for example. I have you put something on TV, 70% of the country going to watch it, and they have no choice. They cannot skip. They cannot just watching the soap opera and the commercial appear. They see next day everyone talking about.
Yeah.
Don't have more it.
Yeah.
Also, you have a much more things happening. If you see music, for example, in the past, Madonna launched an album. You go to the store. There's an album of Madonna there in front of you. Now, millions of launches every time that in the Spotify they are in the same place. I don't know. I think you have a different way of also that you pay for audience, and now you need to gain audience. So it's a different way too. And I think also all these conditions starting to create a different way of building stories. So I remember I did a lot of commercials, 30 seconds, that, funny, people laughing, comments. But today there's creators doing much better than that, in the TikTok. You see something, wow, this is amazing, it's funny and cool. I don't know, the competition is much bigger today. There are much more interesting things than commercials. There are people creating a lot of interesting contents, funny memes, become more famous. That's and also the relationship of advertising. Today people see advertising like invading your life, invasive, I'm doing my things, appear advertising. So when you pay and YouTube do not see advertising, when you pay this game and my phone to not see advertise. So advertise becomes something annoying. Because it needs to be short and it should be more noisy and you don't have time to build story. I don't know, it's a different way, but I think, when you create activations or do something funny that's not a commercial, not a traditional format, people still share, people still comment, they still like but again, it should be a nice content.
But you don't think the creativity levels have gone down?
No, I think it's going up. I think, yeah.
Advertising agencies also.
Yes, I think that's in the past. Not I'm not going to be generic like that, but I think just change. But I think you have a possibility today. If you see what's being doing Cannes this year, compare of 20 years ago, I think they're much more great ideas than 20 years ago. You have to know the nostalgia because it's part of your, because you see on TV, it's nice because I remember that when you do a TV commercial in Brazil, 70% of the country going to watch it, and everyone, my cousin, my neighbor, everyone going to see it, can tell, this, I did it. Now I don't have it anymore, It's so important, put a lot of effort, and energy. You have a time to do this. Now I think the TV is just a part of the whole ecosystem of the communication. That moving for social a lot, how can I create a discussion? How can I engage creators to generate content? There are a lot of different relationship that you have of.
I know you've answered it in bits and parts. Let me ask you, Derek, how do you navigate through the change yourself? To keep yourself relevant, to keep yourself on top?
Well, again, be curious and study. Okay. So I really diving, because everyone talk about social first, the word that you listen. The campaign needs to born social, needs to be social by design. So don't come to me with a TVC that you're going to cascade to digital. This not exist anymore. And so even I don't want just a digital assets that can be nice, that the brand talk about itself. How can I work with influencers, creators? How can I engage them to make a seamless content? So I really start diving very on it and learn and talk of a Meta, TikTok, of a creators there to see. I think the way you need to do is you need to create more big ideas that born social. What is it that can he high level of engagement and can create discussion and can be entertainment. So the idea needs to born like that. Not like in the past, the idea needs to be a nice insight that they show the superiority of the brand, that something like the brand talk about itself. Now is with the brand need to say that can be relatable and people want to take part in it, or easy to people engage on it. If you pay, but it's easy to not be force fit. So that's the first thing. And after, you need to be prepared to create not like a campaign, but dozens campaigns about the big idea, because on social is always on. So we need to phases, you need to start like this, you need to engage creators, influencers, you need to do brand content, you need to do things, you need to see, you need to boost what's happening. There are a lot of media techniques to fake virals, to engaging, and follow trends. It is a little more complex, but it's exciting also. It's different. I think you're just starting now, but I should tell I want to create benchmarks on it.
Okay.
So I don't want to look like another brand did, another brand. I want to find a big answer for this question. What is social first? And look at that. And people say, oh, look what this brand did.
Okay.
This is a good example. And you're going to learn. Next one, you're going to improve. Next one, you're going to improve. And next year, going to be totally different. And that's it. I tell, I read an article, one of the podcasts that I listen, that the best thing I need to teach for our kids is embrace changing. Because changing going to be part of a routine. And it serves for the companies.
Okay.
Companies going to merge faster than before. The way working going to change faster than before. Professions, skills going to be replaced for another ones. Just enjoy and embrace change. Not be like, oh my God, the AI going to change my life. It was so nice. I need to change, but I need to embrace. I need to be excited about change. And I think that's, the mindset for this moment.
Okay, two more questions for you. One is, which brand do you think is most creative according to you? I don't know whether it's a political sensitive question.
No, I think it's, I think for the one brand that I admire a lot is Redbull.
Oh, Redbull, okay.
Why? Because they really changed. A long time ago, they started doing content. And now I think they make more money on content than selling Red Bull's products.
Oh, I didn't know that, really?
Yeah, because they have an X Games, they create contents for TVs, they have channels. They become this brand that put the man in the space, jump in a parachute to beat the records, or the first man that crossed the sound speed. And they have people chasing records. I think this I admire because they just went in another like I tell, there's another door, another format. You don't see commercials, Red Bull. We don't see too much like, oh, Red Bull now, like this is too, or more caffeine, you can have 3 times more. They don't see it. But it's a very desirable brand. It's in the helmets, in the F1, in all the extreme sports that connect to the brand. I think this is one, I'm very jealous of when brands just doing this way, and I don't know, they have X Games, like they creating a competition of crazy stuffs and contents a lot, and that's I think it's not as a creative, and the creative, you don't see Red Bull on Cannes Lions, but for me it's an amazing marketing, it's an amazing thing. Even like what Barbie did launch the film, it's amazing marketing. Like they making a film, the Hollywood film of Barbie reinvent itself because Barbie is connected to stereotype of beauty, too much, and they just shift everything in a movie that's into the part of the culture globally. Everyone putting contents in that's a
Last question. The books, any books particularly you read, you want to recommend, or any podcast, anything you want to recommend?
Well, there's one podcast that I think even for everyone that work in market should do listen, is like a Tagline.
Tagline.
Tagline is, I think the Clio, well, I don't want to give the wrong credit, but if you go to Spotify, Tagline is a interview and story about all the epic campaigns.
Oh, really?
Yes. They interview the clients, the directors, the sound person, they tell the story, how the brand, the idea come, and all the struggles. And it's very inspiring because you see that's not easy. For example, do you remember the Volvo Van Damme split? I think it's the 6 content. They did 5 that no one talk about that, but this one they did differently, and they tell how they convince Van Damme, how they put Enya music on it, how they produce, how they convince. It's amazing to see how hard these do things happening. So that's I think one podcast I really hardly recommend. Sometimes I'm very depressing for the industry. I just listen, I boost my and books. I don't know. As I told, I'm very curious. So. All the social media things I read in a book, Dopamine Nation, that's just talk about the addiction of how your brain behave of the social media, all the things that you really keen to really feed yourself with something and create a generation that's cannot stop the dopamine. Like my son called me, I'm bored, what can I do? Enjoy it.
Call me today and go. I said, live with it.
Yeah, enjoy it. But they explain the behavior. Another one that's as a parenting. After this book, I really know that's the art of screen time.
Okay.
How can I deal with our kids of a screen time? Because it's not bad. But you need to have some rules to. For example, I started adopting, for example, can play video game, but with a friend. Alone, not too much, just a bit. But to have a friend, it's like I read a book together. They interacting, they talking, that's a good thing. There's one thing that in this book they say that's nice. For example, when the parents, oh, how is school today? You can tell, oh, what you saw today? Nice in the internet, Start sharing things. So. And another one is the same author, Noah Harari, the Sapiens.
Oh, Sapiens.
Yeah, but it's the 21 lessons for 21st century.
Okay.
They talk about the future. They talk about a lot of AI.
Sapiens I didn't like Sapiens.
Yeah, but this one I like because they talk about the future. How is the AI going to impact society and and how the biotechnology that I think is more scary in their AI because it's going to start in shape human beings. They can create superior human beings. Can. That's the last one that I.
Okay,
That
that's
I-
amazing. I think
Yeah.
I'm going to read that.
Yeah. I think it's. I like to be curious about what's going to happen. I like to sci fiction, so I like to imagine the future, but it's much more in the social behave and.
Thank you so much, Marcos.
Good, sir. Good talks.
Refreshing talking to you. And, I am now feeling bad that I was with you in that team WPP and we did not spend enough time with you because I could have learned all this even earlier.
Cool, lads.
So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.